I was hoping last night was a horrific nightmare and it wasn't real, but apparently the Jets did actually lose to the New York Giants, which is disgusting, and the annual Snoopy Bowl will determine the winners and losers from that contest with our resident NFL insider, Matt Lombardo. I've always said this about the preseason. If we win, we're going to the Super Bowl. If we lose, who cares? It's the preseason. So let's go, baby. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We're about 100 subscribers away from 8,000. Unbelievable. Thank you guys so much for all the support. We appreciate it. So if you are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're also streaming live on my Facebook page, Twitter page, and of course, we have the audio-only version and the replay as well. We've got a special guest joining us. He joins us every gosh darn Sunday here from now until the end of time. It's official. Those are the contract. Those are the terms. That's just sort of how it works. And you guys can have that sort of commitment to our next guest, Matt Lombardo, and the YouTube description down below where there's a direct link to his Substack. Without further ado, let's bring him in. NFL Insider Extraordinaire, Matt Lombardo. What's up, Matt?
Paul, even though the game might not have gone the Jets' way in any form or fashion, hearing the theme music for Boy Green Daily each Sunday morning turbocharges me into these appearances, and it works better than the Starbucks here. So kudos to you for the opening music.
Of course. That's the least I could do to try to get people engaged. And here's how you guys can get engaged with Matt Lombardo. Scan that on your screen right now, baby, between the gosh darn hash marks. That's the way to do it. And make sure you jump on the train. Again, it's a great train to jump on, and it's never too late. You know, do it right now. What are you even waiting for Pete's sake? Between the friggin' hash marks, here's the branding, baby, with Matt gosh darn Lombardo. We'll talk about a lot of things that entails coming up here in a little bit. Shout out to Jared, baby. He hit the re-sign button and became a Boy Green Coffee Club member once again. Jared, that is a raffle ticket for our contest, my handsome friend. And here is the raffle ticket prizes, by the way, for all those counting at home. And all you have to do is spend $3 on the channel to be eligible for these series of prizes and gizmos and gadgets. Let's throw this up on the big board here. There you are, a Super Bowl game collection coin, limited edition, flashed in 24 karat gold, a prime athletic New York Jets hoodie, and a vintage Jets player t-shirt, a blast from the past. You'll get a random one of those in there as well. And one of our callers and listeners of the show, our viewers, Badshaw, donated the kickoff. Oh, you're going to love this, Matt.
What do you got?
Oh, yeah. Let me get this out. Okay, let's pull this out, baby. Another prize. All right, here we go. You're going to love it.
The Super Bowl coin, that's worth the price of admission on its own. I don't care what else you're pulling out of the magic box behind you. I'm buying the raffle ticket for the chance to win the Super Bowl III coin. That's an impressive prize.
Yeah, that it is. And here's the other prize. So a listener of the show donated this item that's in front of me here to the prize pack. And it is the this is the cookbook Kickoff Kitchen. And you'll notice the chef down here, Tim Lopez, is the Super Bowl chef from the Philadelphia Eagles. And there are 64 game day recipes here, including appetizers and entrees. Tim Lopez worked for the Philadelphia Eagles for 14 years. And one of those years was that magical 2017 season where Nick Foles and company beat the Patriots, which works for me, baby. So, yes. So there you go. This book is also
2017 Super Bowl Eagles Flybook co-authored sponsored by none other than Matt Lombardo. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Good
there you
plug.
go. So
See?
some great synergy going on the show
There
today.
clearly is. So this is another item that's donated in the mix. So shout out to Tim Lopez. He joined us about 2 weeks ago and talked about the wonderful exploits of this book. So appreciate it. Thank you, Chef, and for joining us. And hey, you know what? I'd rather the Jets be winning these Super Bowls, but if the next best thing was Patriots losing Super Bowls, well, sign me the hell up, Matt Lombardo. Sign me the hell up.
Yeah, man, I need to go and track down that book, if for
There you
nothing
go.
else, for my Saturday Penn State tailgate recipes.
It's a great book and wonderful pictures. It's well done. So a big shout out to Tim Lopez again for that. Again, that's all part of the raffle package. If you spend $3 on the channel, you do have an opportunity to make that happen. All right, let's dive into the deep end of the pool here. Matt Lombardo, the Jets got their ass kicked. There's just no other way to put it. And Aaron Glenn had a beautiful. I was just grabbing the quote because I'm writing a story about it. But after the game, Aaron Glenn called them sloppy and undisciplined. There's a lot we have to fix. And then he stopped in the middle of his press conference. He said, "This is the beautiful thing about the game of football." We're all like, all right, what's this going to be about? And he's like, on one week, you could be riding high and enjoying all the fruits of your labor, and it all looks nice. And the next week, the game can knock you on your ass. It can knock you on your ass. And then he walked about saying, "We just got knocked on our ass." It was a great speech. Not quite Dennis Green, any
You
of
want to
those kind of
crown their
speeches,
ass?
100%, or Jim Moore playoffs. It wasn't quite there, or Herm. You play to win the game. We didn't get some of that action, but a little bit of. I'm like, am I sensing something here at some point this season? Are we going to get some AG legend lore happening here? We'll have to see if that happens. But Matt, straight up, the Jets got knocked on their ass in their own building, even though technically I guess they were on the road. That was right in the face in this game.
Yeah, but again, it's preseason. We take
Sure.
everything that happened last night with a grain of salt, just like you take what happened in Lambeau last week with a similarly sized, although better tasting for Jets fans, grain of salt. It's the Himalayan pink sea salt versus the ionized table salt you buy at Dollar Tree, right? Last night was a Dollar Tree grain of salt, and we're going to go through the winners and losers, I'm sure, from last night's game. But you just have to remember when you look at what happened on Saturday night at MetLife, the Jets starters played for a couple of series, and the Giants backups dominated the Jets backups is about what happened last night. And you had a couple big plays from Russell Wilson and a mismatch of starters and backups for the Giants. But I don't think that there's any reason to panic or overreact to anything that we saw last night. With that said, you and Jets fans and myself for the next few minutes, we're going to overreact.
Yes, which is the only American thing we can do after a football game like that. We must. It's just part of our DNA, for God's sakes. So without further ado, I know you've explained your strategy in the past when I've given you the opportunity. There's a fork in the road, Matt Lombardo, and I said you could pick this way or you could pick this way. Either way, we're going to be going down both of the roads, sort of like the Crash Bandicoot game on the PS1 in 1998. If you want to get all the Woompas, you got to go down both paths. Go all the way down the left and then come back down the right to get all your Woompas action. So I then turn that to you to say, I will give you the opportunity. I already know your stance on this, but you could choose to go wherever you'd want. We have winners and losers. Where would you like to start, Matt Lombardo?
Yeah, let's not leave people feeling suicidal. Let's start with the losers and then we'll build up to the good that happened. How does that
Okay.
sound?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, works for me. So, okay. So let's go with some big fat losers who absolutely blew it last night.
Yeah, I'm going to start here, and full disclosure, I'm throwing Quantez Stiggers into both categories. I thought he
Wow.
was a loser and a bit of a redeemer. The big play of the game that everybody's going to be talking about, other than a couple of Jackson Darts throws, was the Russell Wilson 80-yard bomb to Bo Collins. And I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if Stiggers, passed off coverage to the safety without safety help being assigned to that type of coverage. I don't know that he flat out got beat. Either way, not a great look for Quantez Stiggers, a guy who's probably going to play some sort of role on this team. But again, he redeemed himself because he happened to be in the right zip code at the right time to pull down an interception on a clearly blown assignment, miscommunication. Russell Wilson riding the Russell Wilsoning train, whatever the case may be. So I'm going Quantez Stiggers, both a loser and a winner last night.
Yeah, well said on that. I will just say, Matt, You know what? I don't know if you've been hiding these the entire time or they're just coming out as I more get to know you. Some of these sayings you have been spectacular. The Himalayan salt to the regular salt on the table, the right area code at the right time. There's just some great vernacular here, which I appreciate to another level. So that is spectacular. And yeah, it's interesting on the Quantez Stickers play straight up. Obviously, he was in straight up coverage, it appeared. And then it seemed kind of like, hey, you got me. And Andre Cisco was like, wait, what? And then he was sort of scrambling. So I don't know who was to blame. Aaron Glenn, after the game, refused to say who it was. He said, I got to watch a tape. So we'll see if by the time we speak to AG next, if we will remember to ask about the thing that happened as opposed to moving forward. So we will see on responsibility. But either way,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think Cisco was hanging out in Weehawken, and he just couldn't get
yeah.
back to East Rutherford in time to make a play there. If he passed him off early.
Yeah, right. So it seemed like Cisco got, if I was to assign blame, I'm like, Stickers definitely blew it initially. And then Cisco got a little aggressive, thinking he took the cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
He said, ooh, I think I'm going to get a pick here. Oh, snap. That's behind me. Okay. That's an issue. So yeah, Quanto Sticker is a loser. Totally understand that. And coming back as a winner. Nice little sneak preview of that coming up here in a little bit. I love it. All right. Give me another big fat loser.
Well, we talked this guy up last week, and it just went the other way last night. Adrian Martinez, right? I think the drop off last night from Justin Fields to Martinez was really, really stark. But here's why it's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
If Tyrod Taylor can walk in week one, he's going to be your backup quarterback. He's going to be number two. And you're not going to need to worry about Adrian Martinez and what he's doing during the preseason because Tyrod Taylor is number two. Adrian Martinez is your number three QB. I didn't love some of the decision making from the pocket from Martinez, especially on the interception. He might have been playing a bit over his head against what was the starting Giants defense at the start of the game, and it seemed to snowball from there. But if you're looking for your number three quarterback to climb into some sort of competition with Tyrod Taylor, I think we saw last night, not only that he's not quite in that conversation, but the fact that he played all the way through the third quarter, I think that Aaron Glenn was trying to see, all right, is this guy the number three or is Cook going to supplant him? Because if you know what you have in him, you're not going to play him deep into the second half if he started the game.
And quick follow up on that, I'm curious because a lot of fans are concerned about Tyrod. He underwent a minor knee scope surgery, so he's out for the preseason. The team is hoping he's back for week one, but when you hear hope is not a strategy, so that doesn't sound great. And the Jets only have the four quarterbacks on the roster. Fields obviously is going to be there. If Tyrod's up in the air injury wise, that leaves Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook as your only two other options. So Tyrod Taylor being 36 and having this knee surgery, how concerning should that be for Jet fans, Matt Lombardo?
Yeah, I don't think I think it's non-zero because
Okay.
preseason injuries tend to linger or they can linger. Again, you have Justin Fields, so they're going to be fine at the top of the depth chart. You're hoping that Justin Fields can stay healthy, but we saw it in training camp. You've seen it in the past because of his style of play and some of the extra hits that he takes on the run. You need that backup quarterback position to be solidified, and if there's any reason to worry about Adrian Martinez's shoddy play, it's that hey, if Tyrod's not ready, it's looking pretty thin in that quarterback room to the point where if a Tommy DeVito shakes loose during roster cuts, do you keep an eye? Do you put in a claim to bolster that room if you're not in love with either Cook or Martinez at the end of this thing? Do you go waiver wire shopping for maybe a quarterback that you had on your board in the sixth or seventh round of the draft that winds up not making the team that drafted him? But if what we saw last night, and I'm not at practice every day, I'm not studying practice film or preseason game film like the Jets coaches. But if what we saw last night from Adrian Martinez is the Adrian Martinez who's in that building every day, you might be looking to upgrade your backup quarterback spot on the waiver wire or a trade just before cutdown day where you flip a conditional sixth round pick for a young quarterback that you want to bring into your building to upgrade that spot if Taylor's not ready to go.
Matt, earlier this week, the Jets worked out two veteran quarterbacks. And again, that could have been perceived as, hey, Martinez, you better have your head on a swivel, young man, because if you stink, we're going after these guys. And after that preseason game, he may want to keep his head on a swivel, or it could just be doing due diligence. They worked out Nathan Peterman and CJ Beathard. All right, Matt, if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick Nathan Peterman or CJ Beathard, where are you going?
I'm going to the waiver wire after roster cuts. No, I think that Nathan Peterman is borderline serviceable, right?
Okay.
Borderline serviceable. If you throw him into a game, he's not going to embarrass himself too much. But I have to think that in a couple of weeks here, you're going to have better options. Or
Okay.
again, you pick up the phone and you call Joe Shane and you say, "Yeah, Joe, I know you have a log jam at quarterback. You ain't keeping four of them. Here's a seventh round pick."
Okay.
Who
Yeah.
says no
All right. There you
for
go.
Tommy
Well,
DeVito?
hey, the more you keep talking about Tommy DeVito, because I have an autographed football of Tommy DeVito right here from his Syracuse days. It's a long story. We'll have to get into that another day about how I almost made the star quarterback for Syracuse at the time, the kid that they wanted to save their entire franchise, how I almost made him ineligible in college because of this football right here, which would have caused my head to be on a pike outside of Syracuse University. That's a fun story for a different time. But, Matt, is there any other losers you want to highlight?
I have two more.
Okay.
One of no concern, and one who might be playing his way off the roster. The first one of no concern, Garrett Wilson. Still no catches. And I figured maybe you would prompt me on this or ask me about it because that seems to be in your wheelhouse. I'm not too concerned about Garrett Wilson because if you look around the NFL, a lot of teams aren't playing their starters at all. Or you look at the Denver Broncos, they're playing Evan Ingram with Jared Stidham and a bunch of schlubs. And Evan Ingram decides to break off an 80-yard catch down the field. And they say, okay, we saw what we need to see out of Evan Ingram. So that's all she wrote for Ingram. Garrett Wilson's out there. He's out there, right? But I think that if there is any reason to be even a little bit concerned, is you'd like to see the timing and the connection get better with Justin Fields in a live setting. Now, again, he might have been lighting it up in the joint practices. He's probably having a pretty decent camp, working on that timing with Justin Fields. But just a little bit, I'll say troublesome that Garrett Wilson still doesn't have a catch through two preseason games.
And I would agree. Rich Samini highlighted it. I believe Garrett Wilson's been targeted 4 times during the preseason. He doesn't have a catch. And, it's probably the same assumption we made last year, maybe in a different way, right? So Aaron Rodgers gets reunited with Devontae Adams middle of the season. We're like, oh, they're classic buddies. Boom. There's no learning curve. They know each other. That should be easy peasy. And it wasn't that way initially. Eventually, Devontae was putting up numbers, but it didn't have the same. There's too many mess up plays that fans thought shouldn't have been. So now we fast forward a year later and we're eating the same apple off the tree, saying, oh, Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson. They did college football together. That's going to be great. And so far, we haven't seen it, whether it's in training camp practice or in the games on a consistent basis. So it has raised an alarm bell for some people, but to your point, it is preseason. So I guess we'll sort of see if that changes once we get to the regular season. That seems even more highlighted, as we've talked about for weeks, Matt. They don't have a clear wide receiver, too. So everyone's like, okay, we're going to take away Garrett Wilson. We will dare you to beat them with someone else. So far, the Jets have not proven they can consistently do that, but we haven't reached a regular season yet. So we just got to hope the Jets are holding a lot of their cards close to the vest from that perspective. All right, you have one more loser that you said could play his way off the roster. Ooh, what a tease.
Yeah, we'll get to wide receiver in a second here. But I don't think he's in any real danger of playing his way off the roster. But Donovan Edwards, man, Donovan Edwards looked more like a plotter than the piece of a backfield by committee, even as a short yardage back. It's fine if you're going to average 2.9 yards per carry or whatever it was last night. But I thought both if Brees Hall and Braylon Allen are both on the roster, I think you have to show a lot more if you're Donovan Edwards to be part of that backfield, to be part of that depth chart in any meaningful way. Because if they trade Hall, I don't think that he's shown enough to be that complementary back to Braylon Allen, that injury insurance policy to Braylon Allen, if it's only Allen and Donovan Edwards. And I'm not even so sure that he's done enough to separate himself from someone like Lawrence Toafili. And I know that Edwards got his carries earlier in the game than Toafili did, but it just seems like it seems like Edwards isn't separating himself, is what I'm trying to say here.
Literally and figuratively, it seems that way for Donovan Edwards, who, by the way, averaged 2.6 per carry last night, which can only cause one reaction. Oh, Jesus. I mean, that's awful. That makes sense why he was a big loser on your rankings here. But now let's shine a light on some people. Let's crown some winners, baby, from last night. There's got to be some winners in a 31-12 preseason blowout loss, I'm sure. Got to check under a few rocks. All right, Matt.
Yeah, we're going to start in the backfield. And, I thought Brees Hall had a really nice bounce back game. He had a nice job getting to the second level of the defense. He showed some burst. He only wound up averaging 3.7 yards per carry, but he popped on that 12-yard run. And that's what you have Brees Hall for: 3 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 18 yards, right? That's kind of his style of play. And along those same lines, we'll stay in the backfield. Braylon Allen. Again, his carries came after Brees Hall, so you're against a different defense in a preseason setting. But I thought Braylon Allen continues to look like running back one. And you look at what he did, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. It's impressive no matter how you slice it. Even against a second team Giants defense where there's still some talent, Braylon Allen runs hard. He gets downhill quickly. He looks to me like a feature back. And if what we saw from Brees Hall this week is the Brees Hall the Jets get moving forward, you might have more of a conversation about a running back by committee approach than offloading Hall in some sort of trade.
Okay, I like the cut of your jib there. That makes sense. All right, let's go to another winner.
Brandon Stevens. It was only one or two plays, but I thought he showed great closing speed and coverage to get a pass breakup early in that game. Popped a little bit for me as a winner.
Yeah, 5 catches, 48 yards. He
Oh,
ended up leading the team in both receptions and tied for the lead in yards. And this is a guy, Matt, if we go back to last year, he made plays in training camp, he made plays in preseason, but the room was just apparently too deep and he couldn't find his way on there. So, yeah, Brandon Smith, 87 on your scorecards, number one in your hearts. Brandon Smith, baby. Maybe that's the wide receiver we need. He's on the roster already, right? Well, I guess we'll see what happens there. All right. Anywho, yeah.
the wide receiver that you need is Quentin Skinner.
Oh yeah, baby.
Quentin Skinner's a guy I think had a really nice game last night and was really impressed, in my opinion, giving up the body for that diving touchdown catch late. I thought that, you talk about the drop off. When you're talking about Quentin Skinner as emerging as maybe a third wide receiver on the depth chart or a fourth wide receiver, maybe even more than that, I think that maybe that's why that's a position where you need to go shopping a little bit.
Yeah, he had 4 catches for 48 yards. You mentioned that touchdown as well. And he had 4 catches and he was targeted 4 times. So that's what you like to see on Quentin Skinner. I'm not sure how I feel about the 39 jersey number, which is disgusting for a wide receiver. But I'll put aesthetics aside there for what it is. But yeah, Skinner looked terrific out there. Absolutely terrific. Let's give out some more medals.
Matt, I got two more for you.
Okay.
Bernard Converse. He had the huge tackle near the goal line, touchdown saving tackle. And I know the Giants scored on the very next play of that drive, but tackles like that in the preseason, they aren't just teach tape that you put up in the meetings and you say, "Oh, look at that tackle by Bernard Converse down by the goal line. That's how you do it." That's the type of tackle, that's the type of play that when the coaching staff is gathered before the Turk starts knocking on doors or sending out text messages to bring your playbook and go visit coach, those are the type of plays that position coaches and defensive coordinators start pounding the table for to keep a guy. So it was a big play, and I thought he helped himself tremendously in that game last night.
There you go. JBC, Jerk Bernard Converse, one of my favorites from last year. I'd love to see him turn it around. He's been a little quiet this training camp and preseason. All right, our last winner here. Who you get a crown?
Dean Clark, shout out
Yes.
there because he was shot out of a cannon on the Jameis Winston sack, and on the same drive, a couple plays later, swats the ball away on what I believe would have been a touchdown. That's what you want to see. That's how you make a roster. Dean Clark, the final winner of last night's game.
All right, we definitely got to, and that's a good one. And Dean Clark, he seemed to be the right place at the right time for a lot of stuff, and he obviously deserves a lot of love. But there is one other person that we have to highlight here for winner or loser. I guess it depends on where you stand. It was Abdul Carter getting the business last night from Stone Smart getting stonewalled. That was beautiful, and I'll play a clip here in just a second. But it felt like that was the welcome to the NFL moment for one Abdul Carter. Absolutely annihilated. I mean, this was, oh yeah, here it is right here. So folks, you're about to see this on the replay. This was brutal in a great way for Jet fans. So, you ended up losing the game, and obviously that stinks. You never want to do that sorts of things. But here, let's throw this up on the big screen and just see it on replay over and over again. Here you go. That's Stone Smart giving Abdul Carter the absolute business and the cleanup job there on the repeat. Just beautiful. Booyah! Put him right on his tuchus. So welcome to the NFL. I don't know if Abdul Carter loser there for his welcome to the NFL moment or Stone Smart winner, but either way, I like the cut of the jib there, Matt.
A stone cold welcome to the NFL moment, stone cold winner right there. And just because we kind of zigged where we kind of zagged,
Yeah.
the winner for me was Brandon Stevens, the corner, not Brandon Smith,
Oh,
the wide
I
receiver. I didn't want
see.
to make sure we didn't get our wires. I had to double check the roster to make sure I didn't misspeak, and I'm not trying to call you out. I just wanted to make sure that we
Oh,
tell the people where I was coming from there.
no, yeah, and let's completely reset because I want to make sure he gets his love. Like Brandon Stevens on that third down aggressive,
Yes.
and because Matt, and I think it's important for him to get his light here. So my bad for misinterpreting. Too many Brandons on this team apparently, but like
Brandon with an S.
yeah, apparently, when you look at Brandon Stevens, when he was signed, Ravens fans celebrated on social media. Oh, thank God he's gone. And Jet fans are like, ugh, how are we supposed to feel about this? And then some numbers came out about how Brandon Stevens was toasted and all these other things. And I got to meet him earlier this week at the Jets Giants joint practice. Seemed like a nice young man. But from everything we've heard, Aaron Glenn has highlighted him throughout all of training camp, saying he's been one of their most improved players, even though he hasn't had him previously. Just what they saw on tape and what he's been for them, they've been wildly impressed. So, yeah, let's give that trophy one more time to Brandon Stevens with an
Yes.
S.
Yes. Yeah, I thought he played really well. I thought he had a couple of highlight level moments. And on a day where the secondary really struggled early, I thought he made enough nice plays and acquitted himself really well.
So there you go. In the secondary, again, everyone talks about Sauce and Michael Carter II and some of these other players, but Brandon Stevens certainly deserves his love. So thank you for the clarification going to be on that. We'll answer some of your questions and comments coming up in just a little bit here on the show. Again, we're speaking with our NFL insider extraordinaire, Matt Lombardo. There is a direct link to his Substack. You also see it on the screen underneath his name if you guys are watching on any of the visual products here, but there is a link that you can click into, and it hyperlink and jumps you right over to his product. So if you want to hear and listen and read and absorb Matt Lombardo all the time, you could do it on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, second-to-second basis. Feel free to take advantage of all of those varying opportunities on top of him joining us every week. So why don't we start there, Matt, because you have a column that comes out every Monday, and obviously you have much more than that with Between the Hash Marks, as we're highlighting here on the screen. So tell us all about it and what you have.
Yeah, this is a great week to get involved and go click that link in the description and subscribe because tomorrow is one of the tentpole pieces of coverage of my entire year. It's my annual survey of NFL power brokers about some of the storylines, how they think this season is going to play out. Who's the MVP candidate that not enough people are talking about? Who's the surprise team that could surprise some people, sneak into the postseason, defy expectations, all those things, and their predicted Super Bowl matchup. And this year's panel, Paul, it's 4 front office executives, 3 NFL scouts, 2 NFL coaches, and 5 current players. So 14 insiders inside the league. People can really sink their teeth into that tomorrow morning in 4 downs, which is my tentpole piece of coverage every single week. It's typically for paid subscribers. Think of it as your Monday morning all-encompassing recap of all the storylines inside the league with quotes from players who made the plays on Sunday, league insiders, scouts, coaches, executives, contextualizing some of the biggest things that happened in Sunday's game or the biggest storylines around the league. We have the Between the Hash Marks podcast every Tuesday with myself and a friend and colleague, Mike Tanier, and Friday mailbag where readers can submit their questions to me. I'll ask agents, coaches, scouts, executives, people in the Rolodex to get their thoughts on the questions, get their answers to the questions, and features and analysis throughout the week. And it's a project that I feel has really been rewarding. It's one of the fastest growing publications on the Substack platform, which is a testament to people subscribing and reading. And I'm truly appreciative of all of that. And I really appreciate coming on and having the chance to talk about it each week with you and the people, Paul.
All right, so you've mentioned it at the beginning where you sort of tried to talk a few people off a few cliffs there because Justin Fields was 1 for 5, 4 yards. He had 5 rushing yards. He didn't look exceptional. Now, the second drive of the game, at least he got them in scoring position by running the football. They were able to get 3 points. So 2 scoring drives in 2 weeks. That's not bad if you're trying to squint to find the silver lining here. But that may have been the last Justin Fields appearance we see for the regular season because the Jets and Eagles play this week, but I'm not so sure if any of the starters for either of the respective teams are going to suit up, Matt.
Yeah, and you can probably bet the mortgage that Nick Sirianni isn't going to play any of the starters. So whatever you see from Justin Fields in that preseason finale anyway, which I doubt he'll play, but if he does, a little bit of a mirage because you can do it against backups and third string defensive players. But if you're the Jets, you've kind of seen a glimpse of the Justin Fields experience. You're going to win with the mobility. You're going to win with the scrambling. You're going to set up the big plays, the deep balls to Garrett Wilson down the field based on your running game. You're going to hope that it checks the boxes and it works. You can't really glean that much in the preseason. And I think that the Jets, with the 2 scoring drives and a couple of big runs in each game, have to like what they've seen from Justin Fields so far.
Yeah, well, hopefully, again, we can continue to see those progressions as we get to the season. Matt, is there anything else that we didn't get to that you want to get to here on the show? Feel free. Now's the time to do so.
Yeah, just excited about tomorrow's column. I hope people come and check it out. It could be your walk into the door for what I have to offer. We've opened it up to free subscribers, so you can check it out even if you just jump on board for free this week to get a taste. Proud of it, how it turned out. I think it'll be informative to the people. Wrapped up the training camp tour this week with the Baltimore Ravens. Some really cool insight from a Super Bowl caliber team up on the site right now, and just excited to keep talking Jets and watching this team develop with you, Paul, each and every Sunday.
That's for sure. Matt, one more here, just on between the hash marks. How much is it? And again, you've talked about a lot of the things that people receive, which is awesome. And it sounds like, obviously, as you explained, that there's layers. There's people that can get a taste with the free subscribers, but obviously they don't get the full package until they're a paying subscriber. So sort of explain that real quick.
Yeah, right now, if you just want to pay month by month, it's $8 per month. You get everything we talked about. You get the four downs column, you get the mailbag, you get the podcast, everything, all the free posts that come out throughout the week. And if you're a free subscriber, you're going to get a little bit of taste of those paid sections. You'll get a couple paragraphs, maybe a section of each. You'll get all the free posts that come out. You can join my subscriber chat. It's $8 per month or $80 per year. But if you just want to get a taste, so you get your way into the door, you can check that out as well. And right now we're running a couple of fun exclusives for our free members in the door. So you want to jump on board to see what some of those offers entail.
There you go. If you sign up for a year, it sounds like you could save a few shekels. So there you go. If you commit. So beautiful. Matt, thank you as always for joining us here on the show. And we're looking forward to it. Next week is the final preseason game we must discuss. And then it's off to the races with the regular season. Unbelievable. Can't believe we're here.
Hopefully next week it's more Himalayan sea salt and not the table salt.
That is, I'm going to crochet that on a pillow somewhere. Matt Lombardo, thanks, pal. Have a great one.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a good one.
There he is. Himalayan salt. Who would have thought the over-under on that was over for Boy Green Daily? That's why you watch the shows, people. That's why you watch the shows. All right, we're here at post 8 o'clock. Here we have 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We got another reminder. You can click Matt Lombardo's Substack in the YouTube description down below. Make sure you do that and support local journalism. I think that's a biggie. Me and Matt were sort of talking about before the show that we both do these things, right? Boy Green Daily, this is my own thing. While sure, I work at Heavy as a New York Jets digital reporter, this is my own thing. I can talk about whatever I want, do whatever I want over here. It's cool. It's my own individual platform to be able to utilize. And Matt has his, obviously, on his Substack. So it's a pretty cool opportunity. So the more we could support local journalism and individual content creators, the better off we'll be. Especially if you guys like that sort of vibe paired with what we get normally from the beat reporters as well. We'll do this. We'll open up the phone lines next here on Boy Green Gosh Darn Daily. Again, more reactions to the Jets-Giants game from last night. What's worth taking away, what's not worth taking away, and everything in between. So we'll play a quick half timeout and more coming up here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. talking Jets football, man. Boyd Green Daily, Boyd Green Daily, Boyd Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boyd Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. The phone lines are now open. That is the pin comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. Feel free to interact with the show if you'd like. Feel free to do so. Again, there's a pin comment on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, we appreciate wherever you choose to consume Boyd Green Daily. But if you'd like to call in to the show, you have to do it exclusively on the YouTube. So make sure you guys do that, baby, here on the program. A lot more notes and quotes to get to for sure on the Jets-Giants game last night. And I'll also answer some of your questions. I did see a couple, so let me highlight a few things. First off, NC Green earlier said, Paul, how's the Wounded Warrior drive going? Well, my pop will provide updates on a week-to-week basis regarding this subject matter, but we had over $300 yesterday, so I want to give a massive shout-out to all of you guys for the Wounded Warrior Project, and I'll throw that back up on the screen if any of you guys missed it yesterday. This is a cause that's very close to my heart, and my father's heart, for that matter, and this is his puppy that he put together, so I'm going to hide your comment real quick, NC Green. The Hop on Pop Wounded Warrior Project 50/50 raffle. Here's how it works. You have until right now, or technically yesterday, all the way through midnight on October 4th. That's a Saturday. That's the Saturday before our tailgate to submit money in. Raffle tickets are $1 a piece. $1. If you spend just $1, then you have a chance to win the money that I'm about to explain here in a second. However, hopefully you dig even deeper into your pockets because this is all for charity. So the winner of this 50/50 Wounded Warrior Project raffle will be drawn at our tailgate. That is Sunday, October 5th at the Jets-Cowboys game. We'll do it in the parking lot before we head into the stadium. And whoever the winner is gets 50% of the entire pot that was donated. The other 50% gets donated to the Wounded Warrior Project. So it's a wonderful cause. It's amazing. I've already heard a few people say if they win, they will just donate the other 50% to the Wounded Warrior Project, which is super cool. But you don't have to do that. That is up to you. If you guys win the money, you can do whatever the hell you want with it, as far as I'm concerned. So that's how it'll work. And I love this. Whoever donates the most money will receive a special surprise gift package from my father, which will include some autographed NFL memorabilia. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that. Now, normally, if you pay attention to any of our raffles, just because you gift the most doesn't necessarily you will win the raffle on a month-to-month basis, but we wanted to honor whoever decided to donate the most money for this particular package because of how special it is. Now, here's how it works. If you spend any money on my YouTube channel, I'm talking about memberships, I'm talking about super chats, that is not included in this raffle you're seeing on your screen. We have a separate raffle, which is right here, and I'll throw this up on the screen. Every $3 spent gives you a chance to win all this fun stuff. However, if you want to be a part of the Wounded Warrior Project special, you need to send your money directly to my father. So his Venmo is at Paul-Esden, Paul-Esden on Venmo. On PayPal, he's at HopOnPop22. And that logo on the top right of your screen where it shades a beard and some hair, that logo is in both places to try to make it very simple so you guys know you're sending it to the right place. So again, every dollar spent gets your raffle ticket. $50, 50 raffle tickets, $25, 25 raffle tickets, etc., etc. And on a week-to-week basis, my pop will give us an update. Hey, our top gifter is this person. Here is where this is at. Here's how much money we've raised. And he will do that each week that he joins us. So thank you, NC Green, for asking about it. I wasn't sure. Again, just like anything, right? Hey, there's Jets Cowboys tailgate. How many people are going to come? 60 plus, apparently, is the answer to that question. Oh, man, how many people are going to donate to this Wounded Warrior Project on day one, getting over $300? Good Lord have mercy. So you guys are just very supportive. It's you guys always surprise me as a community. So how's the Wounded Warrior Drive going? Well, exceptional, quite frankly. So thank you guys so much. And again, that's a charity that obviously is very close to me and my father's heart. And pre-COVID, I used to host something every draft, a live party to raise money for the Wounded Warrior Project. So unfortunately with COVID, that went away, but hopefully we can bring that back in this new light where you guys can support. So thank you for asking, NC Green. I appreciate it. Let's go to the phone lines. Hep's back, baby. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. I'm a little disappointed with the game last night.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, go hang myself in the closet or anything, but
Oh,
it's only
good.
a
Oh, thank God.
preseason game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's only but I mean, at the same time, it was just a lot of shades of last year.
Mhm.
That first drive, we stopped them. It was 3rd and 8, and then they gashed us up the middle and got the first down. And then a few plays later, they threw the 80-yard touchdown. I mean,
Yeah.
80-yard play. That was like, eesh.
Yeah.
Nice play of tracking the guy down and at least getting him from getting in the end zone. But
Sure. Right. Yeah.
that was few and far between. Justin Fields, I guess we saw the Cinderella got home after midnight or something yesterday,
Mhm.
and we saw a
Yeah.
little bit what Bob, I guess, was talking about. The one was a little disheartening was there was a little swing pattern, and the timing was already screwed up. But
Mhm.
Justin Fields did a Zach Wilson, and he skipped it over to him,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh no, not one of those.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and so I'm thinking, looking at Martinez last night, we got to really see what he was about, with much harder competition. Do you
Right.
think that? What do you think? Who's ahead of who, Cook or Martinez?
Well, if we're going based off of, okay, the first preseason game, Brady Cook went out there first. And from everything I've heard, Brady Cook outplayed Adrian Martinez and all the normal training camp stuff. Then, obviously, Cook gets hurt. And the judge go, all right, Martinez, we're going to put you ahead of Cook to play with different lineups, right? The more first and second versus third and fourth string. So, in theory, Martinez should perform better. And so, right now, I think, they both have flaws. Whoever said it, someone called into the show and said, "Man, if you put Martinez in there, no difference with him and Justin Fields." I'm like, initially I said, I don't know, and then you see last night, you're like, oh boy, like again, you can't be making those back-breaking killer mistakes of throwing it across your body and getting an interception. Those are just absolute no-nos. So for right now, who's the leader in that ballpark? I think it's about to be the guy they're about to add in 2 days. I think that's about to be the new leader in the ballpark. So
Okay,
it sucks for Adrian and Brady, who are young cats, but the
sure.
Jets have no choice. I got to look out for the A1 and this Tyrod thing. I don't know. It scares me that I don't. How is any surgery minor? I get it. The label is minor, but you're
Yeah.
getting a knife or a laser, however the hell they do this technology nowadays. I'm just a little concerned about Tyrod, who already was a guy we questioned his durability. And before we could even question durability, the durability is in question. So I don't know.
Yeah. The older you get to, it's harder to heal up.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed with the defensive line. I mean, I knew we didn't have a lot of our players in there, but we
Sure.
weren't going against like the Dallas Cowboys in the '90s offensive line or anything last night. You know,
That's also true.
And-
That's the
yeah.
balance, right? Of like, we didn't have all our guys, but they didn't have all their guys. And even when they have all their guys,
They're not all that, and I was like,
right.
but like you said, it's the battle of the backups. I mean, what are you
Sure.
gonna do?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
AJ, I mean, Aaron Glenn, I liked his approach. Got to see him on a losing side, a little bit of, he's just holding the line. I think
Hmm.
he's good. What was your takeaway from the game last night?
Yeah, it was just it was disappointing, certainly. I expected, even if we didn't win, I just expected better effort, and I thought
That's
that's
it.
what we were
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get. Just again, it's not that we lost, it's the way we lost. It just looked like we
yeah,
got sort of jobbed there, and I'm like, wow.
yeah.
So I guess I just didn't expect it in that way, because again, the comment that keeps ringing in my head is I go back to that Jets Packers game, and I was subject to whatever broadcasters they gave me, but the broadcaster kept saying, "Man, this Jets team is so prepared. Like AG had these guys ready," and he just kept saying it over and over and
Yeah.
over again. I said, "Well, that's refreshing. We didn't get that last year." And then this time we're like, "Oh boy, the Jets are completely unprepared." And I'm
I
like, "Ah,
know.
geez, I don't know how to feel. Jekyll Hyde, Jekyll Hyde, Jekyll Hyde." So I would just say that's the most disappointing part for me is that, man, they just didn't come. They didn't look ready to play. Again, they didn't have all their starters. It's a preseason. There's a lot of excuses we could point to. The reality is we're going to see if this glass slipper fits on the cankle of one Cinderella week 1. So, the proof will
Yeah.
ultimately be in the pudding there. Yeah.
It was almost like the Giants. The Giants beat us up during the week, And the Jets were like, we know it's going to happen. And they were just like, they phoned it in sometimes. I
Which
don't know.
sucks because I would have
Yeah.
hoped that the opposite happens, right? That the Giants are
Sure.
talking some shit like, hey, we got you a couple of times. Like, oh, you think you got me? Eat some of this. And then the Stonewall and Abdul Carter
Oh,
was like
that,
the
yeah.
theme of the game, but it didn't. That was just one random moment that we're highlighting, and I'm getting my Twitter mentions blown up like, hey, look at the score, buddy. What about Jets and Donnie? It's slicing you up. So I'm just getting a lot of those mentions of like, great, you threw down our first round pick. Who cares? And I'm like, all right, buddy, you don't have to get all upset.
Right.
It's just a preseason game. But yeah, that caused a lot of people to be angry. Yep.
All right, we got time. Let's regroup. You know, maybe it's good that we lost like this. We get a taste of
Yes.
it now. AJ says, "Okay, now let's regroup. Let's see what we did here. We're not all that, you know. Let's figure it out what we got to do." And okay, I'd rather have it now than in the and lose a game in the season. So let's
100%.
hope this was a good lesson.
Let's
Peace
hope
out,
for the
guys.
best. Appreciate it, Hep. Thank you very much, and thank you for the beautiful backdrop as well. I really appreciate that. So thank you. And yes, you guys can continue to send your memberships in here on the channel. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone who has gifted so far. It's been an absolute treat. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much here on the channel. All right, let me just update this real quick. We're replacing some people on the scrolling ticker. I'm trying to keep you guys abreast on where everybody is exactly as it pertains to that contest. So I will continue to update the scrolling ticker as those things come in. And I was going to respond to this message live, but he's calling into the show. So, Scotty, I'll just tell you, I can confirm the $100 donation. And what we ended up doing is that we're sending the donation to two places. So you're getting your raffle tickets for the Wounded Warrior Project, which is amazing. So you're getting those there. And we just put it on the scrolling ticker for our raffle for this month. So you're getting represented in both places, and it was received. So thank you very much.
Well, it's more to you, BG. You know, for the things you and your dad are doing, it's absolutely amazing. I know I speak for a lot of people in Jet Nation that are part of the coffee club. You guys are fantastic. So kudos to you and your dad. Just on the Matt Snell initiative, really briefly, I want to let you
Yes.
know, amazing. Thank you for what you did on that. I really, truly believe Matt should be brought back, you know, into the family as you do, and Bob and the rest of the nation. Foxy reached out to Greeny and Rich Eisen. So we're
Yeah.
hopeful that those guys can maybe support what you're doing. I wrote messages to Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky, and I'm just going to keep, you know, bringing the message out to bring it back to you. You broke the story. Bob is the source 100%, but it's because of you that this story's out there, and it's an absolute atrocity. You know, Matt Snell is a living legend. Let's get it fixed while he's alive, you know, not posthumously. So hopefully Woody will intervene.
Hey, real quick, Scotty, I just want to
Yeah.
tell you, right? Because sometimes if like, right, so Scotty reaches out to Rich Eisen. I love Rich Eisen, so that'd be great if he does. But some people would be discouraged if they don't get a response. And I want to say to you, to Scotty, to anyone else in our coffee club that tries to echo chamber this Matt Snell story, here's this. I heard from a Jets beat reporter. He reached out to me yesterday after the flood of activity and was talking to me about the Matt Snell thing privately. I won't put his business out there. I don't know if he wants it to be public, but he immediately reached out. And why? Because you guys are poking the bee's nest, or the hornet hive, whatever you want to call it, that the Matt Snell conversation is coming back up, and came back up enough that a Jets beat reporter saw people talking about it, said, what's this all about? Paul Esden, beep, boop, boop. And then they reached out to me to talk about it. So it's not about, hey, I got to talk to a Jet beat reporter. That's not it at all. I don't care about that. I'm just saying it to say that, look, the conversation is spreading. People are tweeting about it. People are talking about it. Hopefully people start writing about it. Like that Jet beat reporter reaching out to me yesterday says to me, oh, okay, people are starting to pay attention. People are starting to hear this. So please, if you're out there in the universe and you somehow have missed those stories over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is that Matt Snell has a fractured relationship with the New York Jets. He is turning 84. I think it's tomorrow, the day after. So time is running out for Matt Snell. I don't know how much time he has left. That's not my decision to make. But what is accurate is he's alive right now, and I want to fix that before it's too late. And it's not just for me; it's for Jet fans. It's just we need to do what's right. And I don't know Matt Snell. I've never met Matt Snell. I hope to meet him one day. That'd be wonderful for what he's contributed to this team, both as a person and as a obviously contributor to that Super Bowl. But people are talking about it, so people keep tweeting. Tweet at people. Try to get other people on this story. I'm just some small cog in the wheel, man, or spindle, whatever the shape is of whatever the hell I am. I'm something in this greater machine here. It's not about me, it's about others. So let's please try to keep chasing it. And there you go from Foxy, who says over 13,000 people have viewed the Matt Snell post. Awesome. Let's get more people on it. And that's not enough. We need more people and influential people to pick it up. And that's really where gasoline can get poured on it. And people can ask themselves, that's what I want. I want people to say, Matt Snell, wait a second. There's something wrong with him and the Jets. That's what I want. I want people thinking about that very question. Because as you said, Scotty, you didn't even know about it. And I'm not shaming you that you didn't know. A lot of people don't know. More people need to know. And that hopefully will create that change we're talking about.
So just another minute on that, because this is where we all can come in and really support your initiative. Again, think of this as like, Adam Schechter or Josina Anderson break stories, and they should get credit for it. You broke this story. Bob is the source. All good. His book should sell. You should have more members because of this, because your show is more than just the Jets. It's this community of amazing people. And like Foxy and I, we got together and we sent you something that you viewed and you loved it, but it was your story. Everybody on this channel can literally do like what a few of us are doing. Jared is an amazing guy on technology. I don't have the abilities that he has. NC Green, all these guys, FF, it's just one tweet. 13,000 people saw it because of 2 or 3 people yesterday. Let's all get behind this story and take credit for what should happen, which is to fix this. It's an atrocity. There's a reason why there's a curse. Woody Johnson may or may not fix this. I have 7 more letters I'll send you to AG and others, but give the owner the chance that he deserves for a week or 2. But who says we have to stop? Hep suggested Joe Namath. I don't know. I agree. Whether or not, we don't have to stop there. And I'm not going to stop. I like writing letters. But if we have your army behind you, it's not going to be 13,000 people. Sooner or later, somebody's going to call you up and want to interview you about this, and then you'll bring them to Bob. But I do want to talk about the Jets also. So let me just let you talk about Matt Snell for a second, but then I want to talk about the Elon negativism that's going on. I just want to point out a few things to Jet Nation that happened yesterday, but anything else on the Matt Snell that you want to share to the community? I mean, I think everybody should do their part.
Yes, everyone that's out there in the universe that is consuming this show right now, we have 400 people in the room live, but I know thousands of people watch this show, which is a very humbling thing, and I really appreciate that people choose to consume this show for laughs or information or whatever the reason is that they enjoyed this show. We just need to keep talking about Matt Snell. And I don't want that story to get lost. I don't want it to be, oh, that was interesting 2 weeks ago. Anywho, what's the score of the game? And again, I'm a Jets fan. We're going to talk about Jets Giants with you in a second, Scotty, and everyone else that we're talking with. But this is just such an important story. I want us all to talk about it. And if you're anywhere, my father shared it out on Facebook from my Facebook page. People are sharing it out on Twitter. People are sharing it out on Instagram and adding it to their stories. And again, it's just echo chamber, echo chamber, echo chamber. We need as many people talking about this as possible. And like I said, eventually, hopefully an influential person asks that very question I just talked about, and that gets it out. I appreciate the credit that you're giving me here, Scotty. And to me, it's not about the credit at all. I just want this Matt Snell thing to be fixed if it can. He deserves to have this, not just moment, but he deserves to have this massive grudge that's been lasting for 30 years addressed. And that's what I would like to see. So, one more point. One more point on this. Yeah. Listen, for you guys out there, you never know who you know in your network. I was counseled to the Medical Society. I had 5,000 people that were in my network, and I would put out a message,
And it was amazing what would happen. So you never know who's in your network, whether you have a connection to Woody Johnson, whether you have a connection to Matt Snell. Matt should know that there are a group of fans out there that we don't forget. And with BG's leadership, I promise you, there's more letters coming. But you don't know who's in your network. Don't hesitate to share what BG is doing with somebody who could maybe get Woody's attention. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just see a lot of people. There's even more people. Wait, what happened? What's going on with Matt Snell? Like, still, that's why we need to talk about this every day, is that there's so many people that do not know. So for Christopher and others who have been asking, whoa, what's going on with this Matt Snell story? If you go to my YouTube video section, you will see about a 7-minute video. That is the first time ever that Matt Snell's audio tapes have been released with Bob Lederer from his book, Joe Namath, The Team That Changed Football, where he talked to every member of the Super Bowl team, including Matt Snell, and he had one-on-one sit-down with him. Matt Snell explained exactly what he believes his beef is with the New York Jets and what's caused all these issues. So there is that video you guys can watch, and you can check out the full interview with Bob Lederer. That's in the Biggest Boy Green Interviews playlist that you can see as well, so you guys can review all that. But if you guys don't know, long story short, Matt Snell has a beef with the organization that dates back 30 years, where he was promised by Sonny Werblin a job for life, and it was supposed to be post-football to help him out, because like once football's over, he suffered a horrific Achilles injury. Hasn't that injury affected all kinds of Jets players in history, where all of a sudden that compromised his football career? And he was promised that, and then there was an ownership change, and they never honored it, and Matt felt like he got jobbed there, and it caused all these issues. And again, I want to say this, I said it on Twitter, I don't blame Woody Johnson for this relationship being fractured. I don't blame him at all. However, Scotty and Foxy and everybody else that was a part of that letter said it very beautifully, that when you buy a franchise, you inherit everything, the good and the bad, that comes with the organization. And I think it's on Woody Johnson to fix this, not because it's his fault, because it's not. People can blame Woody for other stuff, but Woody, straight up, this is about just doing something right. He's going to get unbelievable pub if he's able to successfully bring Matt Snell back into the family. And Matt Snell can basically die a happy man whenever that's going to happen in the future. I'm not wishing that on anybody, but he can just finally have this massive weight that's been on his shoulder for over 30 years off. And I think he deserves that. No one should live their life that way. And that's what it's all about. So everyone who's asking about that, there's all kind. If you just Google Matt Snell, that might be the easiest way. If you Google Matt Snell, my interviews are all the top links for Matt Snell. So you should be able to find it that way. And there's all kinds of stories. And Scotty and everybody put a letter together there. We put it on social media to Woody Johnson. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. And it's been picking up some steam.
And maybe remove the curse. I mean, who's to say this isn't connected to our 55 years of, heinous stain against the legacy
Someone
of our
said
Jets.
that in the comment section on Twitter. They said, hey, wait a second. Does this have something to do with the curse? And I'm like, well, us fixing these demons can only help, I'd imagine, with the curse. So why not? But anyway.
So let's talk about this game, because I think
please.
What I saw is a lot different. And just give me a couple of minutes. I'm sorry. I know we've been talking about Matt Snell, but look, the game was 7-6. Their starters played the whole half. Our starters played 2 series. Then Adrian Martinez was brought in. And by the way, I think you guys should go back and look. Adrian Martinez had 2 first downs that were literally dropped. So please stop with the Adrian Martinez bashing. If you actually look at the tape, he literally put the ball in 2 receivers' hands. The balls were just dropped. They were first down. So who knows what happens if those balls are caught. Go back and watch that. Love the Stone Smart block. Everybody's saying Stone Smart's going to catch balls, can't block. I don't know. He put an elbow in that Carter's, the beast's chest, and he flipped him. So I'm looking forward to, Stone Smart getting some reps. But let me tell you what I saw. Sure. The offensive line played and ran the ball down what I believe to be probably the best defensive line in football. They had their way with the Giants. Look at the time of possession for the first half. They ran the ball down their throats. Justin Fields had an awful game. I'm not here to say that he played well. He threw terrible balls. He looked scared in the pocket, but yet the score was 7-6 with their starters and with that incredible pass that Russell Wilson threw. Who wasn't playing for the New York Jets during the first half? Well, let's go over our missing starters. Q wasn't in, right? JJ wasn't in. Will McDonald wasn't in. Who was the other guy?
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner. Yeah, he was missing. That 80-yard pass is never happening. I know everybody said that was against Cisco. That's not what happened. Go back and look at the tape. The cornerback, I don't know what he was doing. He literally dropped off where there was nobody. Sauce goes with that player. There's no way if Sauce is guarding that guy, he's not crossing the field. So look, it was one score. That's all they did. They scored 7 points with their starters in. We were losing 7-6 with Justin Fields probably playing as bad as they could play. But this is what I saw. The O-line was friggin' dominant. What Tanner Engstrom's going to need to do is to figure out how to integrate a short passing game. The Jets are not going to be, the stat leaders in offense. That's not how this team's going to win. The team's going to win with defense. But listen, BG, our 40 players that are in grocery stores and their 40 players that are going to be in grocery stores played the second half of the game. So, yeah, if we played a touch football game in the parking lot of Publix, they're going to beat us because our fourth stringers are pretty bad. But if our top 50 is on the staff, we were down by 1 point. So I really don't know what everybody's looking at and crying about. Our O-line was dominant. That's what's going to happen. We have to figure out the passing game, the short passing game. Now, Garrett Wilson is going to have 80 to 100 catches this year. We've got to figure out the second and third wide receiver. I like Arian Smith. I think the kid, when you look at him coming out of his breaks, he was wide open on 2 plays and they didn't throw the ball to him. He's fast. He's like faster than everybody on the team. But we got to figure out how to get Reynolds in the game. Lazard, when he comes back, we got to figure out how to get him some balls and hopefully he holds on to them. The younger guys, Pritchard, he dropped the ball, but he I hope that he's going to be good. And then this, they've got a couple other guys, Johnson and that guy Smith. Look, if they can do it by committee, they've got to figure out how to do the short game. The longer game will open up. Smith's going to be a beast. I promise you, this is a team that's going to win on defense and running with a short passing game. Forget about the stats. Justin Fields will be just fine. 1-5, still in the game. He's going to win with his legs. Hep, I love you. Don't listen to the Alans. We good. We good.
All right, there you go. Scotty, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. A lot to get to from there and some great points that were made. I want to address a couple of things here. So, Ralph, I've seen you ask this question a couple of times. Sorry for my delay in getting to it. Any update on Quentin Skinner injury last night? No injury to report. AG did not mention him in the post game. And what I would say, what I believe the Quentin Skinner injury that happened is he made this awesome diving catch. And sometimes when you land on a football, it just sucks the wind out of you. And you're just sucking wind. So it appears that's all it was. Sometimes you could get a broken rib or a rim injury. From everything we understand, that did not happen. But if any update to the update happens, we'll let you know, Ralph. So he was not mentioned of any of the injuries after the game from that perspective. Havmo63, gold parking passes, ? Yes. If you are signed up for our tailgate, by the way, we're sold out. So no more tailgate tickets, no more regular tickets. We're all sold out. However, for gold parking passes, the people that are signed up, if you are signed up, you are eligible for 1 gold parking pass per person. You don't have to get it if you have some other way to park or you're using public transportation, whatever you want. That's up to you. But we will have a link available when we get closer to the season that will be available that you guys can click, and then you guys will get access to a gold parking pass. That will be the cheapest possible parking pass you could get. The Jets are doing it as a solid because we were a group ticket buy. So take full advantage of it. When we get closer, I'll let you know, and that link can be shared out, and anybody that's in our group will be able to purchase a gold parking pass. Some of you may have already purchased gold parking passes earlier in the process, and if you have, just let me know when we get closer, and then we'll take care of you. But for the majority of you, you'll be able to buy those gold parking passes on your own. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear as well. We'll get back to the phone lines here in a second. People were asking about the Matt Snell situation. But Sonny Warbler was a previous owner, right? What am I missing? Well, think about it this way, NY Jets fandom that's commenting in here, right? So Matt Snell has this beef with Werblin and the Jets because he thought he was promised a job they never got, and then they switch ownership and they don't honor that promise. So is Matt Snell just supposed to go, oh, well, they switched ownership. I guess I just got to get over it. No, he's a human being, and I totally would understand that. Not only did they not give him a job, two things here. The other part of it, and again, you guys can listen to the full 7-minute clip where Matt Snell talks about this. Not only did he not get a job from the Jets he was promised. Okay, that was bad. The other one was he just wanted a recommendation. He was applying for a job, and he wanted to say, hey, not that who wouldn't know Matt Snell. He then turned around and said, hey, Jets, can you give me a recommendation for this job I want to get? And they refused. And that also pissed off Matt Snell. So the Jets really did not do him many favors on the way out, and he's been angry for a very long time. So what are you missing? Listen to the clip, and hopefully that enlightens you hearing it straight from Matt Snell's mouth. And it's about a 7-minute clip. It's well worth your time, and you can hear from Matt Snell what he believes his beef is with the New York Jets. So feel free to check that out. I'd highly recommend it. Again, if you just Google Matt Snell, it's literally the first link that pops up. It says Boy Green exclusive, blah, blah, blah on YouTube. And you guys can listen to the clip. I highly recommend you do that. And when Jared B asked this question, what is the end result everyone is hoping for with Snell? He's 84, so he's not going to be working. So he's not going to be working for the Jets. It's not about Matt Snell working for the Jets. It's not. I want to mend the relationship, not me. I want the world's, whoever is responsible for mending this relationship. So there's not a beef. So he can now be represented at events. So he can now make money from the autograph sessions that they do. Some of the money that could come in from those jobs. He can be welcome into the community. He deserves to have 70,000 people screaming his name and giving him love. So I think it's a multifaceted thing for me. What's the end result? If I could have whatever I want him to get his recognition. First off, mend the relationship so he and the Jets are on cool terms. Number two, he can then be involved in their legacy community. And again, I was just at Jets training camp. John Abraham was there. I imagine, I don't know this officially, I'm sure John Abraham got a nice little chunk of change for doing autographs and pictures with the fans. So that's a cool celebrity legacy event. You can get some money in your pocket. Wonderful. And Matt Snell can benefit off his NIL, basically, from back in the day of being a Jets legend and get to interact with fans and make some scratch on the side. Or, on top of all that, Matt Snell has 2 children, from what I understand. You could do a solid to him by giving a job to one of his kids. And who cares what the job is? I'm not saying make Matt Snell's children the owners of the team, but give them any job in the building. Make it up. The concession stand, whatever they want, work with them. And it doesn't have to be a job of making decisions, but just, hey, we're going to take care of your family. You are a very important part of our history, and we're going to embrace you and welcome you into the community. That's sort of what I'm saying. That's sort of what I'm getting at, is that there are very simple things for a multi-billion-dollar organization that they can do that can make things right. And it's not going to cost them any kinds of crazy money. It's not like it's costing millions of dollars. They can fix this, and it's easy to fix. Well, let me not say easy. Although it is, it's just Woody Johnson rolling up, I imagine, to Matt Snell's house in his limo, take 5 minutes, go down the street. He lives 5 minutes from the facilities, from what I understand, from a couple of pieces I read. And let's just hammer this out and make it right. So I guess that's the gist. That's a gist. I think I answered most of your guys' questions in there that's going on. Nate said concessions is wild. I don't know what the job is. An ambassador made up thing. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I have no idea. I'm an idiot. But like whatever the job is, like something nice where they could just get paid to do something. And it could be, a Snell Family Legacy Fund or something. And they can represent and run some of the charity efforts. I don't know. Obviously, it's probably better than what I just said at the concession stands. I'm an idiot, but come on, you get my point. Although, I don't know how old these kids are, but maybe they're young enough where that would just be a job to put on the resume and they'd just have a job forever. I don't know. Anywho, let's get back to the phone launch. We've got 400 people watching the show right now. Like the video, hit subscribe. EZ joins here on the program. What's up, EZ?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, I was watching the game down here in NC. I got my NFL Plus on my phone, and I put it on my big screen,
Nice.
screencast it, so I was able to watch it. It's preseason, so you can't really super judge.
Sure, right.
The O-line did look good, but I don't know. It didn't look inspiring. I really don't think that they're going to show anything anyway. They're not going to show end arounds and jet sweeps and any of their gadget plays. I mean, it was like just pure vanilla. run right, run left, swing pass, that kind of stuff. I was disappointed with the fact that they didn't give Justin another
drive,
couple of drives. I would have liked to see him really get his feet wet and do some stuff. But I mean, he did like lead them down the field a couple of times. Adrian Smith to me looked good at some points, and then I think after Arian Smith dropped that ball and that other running back dropped the ball on those 2 first down play, I think he got very frustrated with that. And that was frustrating to watch because, but I don't know. I don't think that this totally represented what we're going to be.
Right.
I would like them to get Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, I
too.
really want them to get Jadeveon Clowney. We need him because God forbid, worst case scenario, JJ goes in and either he's just not ready. I'm not saying he gets re-injured, but he's just not quite ready, and he just doesn't have that burst, and he becomes not that this is going to be permanent. I just think he might play like a journeyman guy for the first 4 or 5 games until he gets mentally ready, to like really put his jets on and go, because that is the biggest thing with an injury like that. All the players will tell you, even though they're 100% physically ready, it takes a while for your brain to realize, okay, it's not going to snap next time I put my foot down or cut hard on it. And that's a hard thing to get over. It's the mental aspect. And Clowney is good against the run too. He's I'm not going to say he's a very good all-around defensive lineman.
Yes.
Very good.
I'd agree.
And I think if you put him right next to Williams, as an insider guy.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like he's good against the run, and B, it would be semi NASCAR kind of defensive line against the pass. I mean, he's still out there. He's still available. Just get him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes front offices never listen to the fans, and a lot of times the fans were right. I mean, I go all the way back to the drafts. I remember when we drafted Jeff Lagerman. All right, he turned out to be good, but who should we have gotten that year? Wasn't that Warren Sapp?
Oh, no, that was a Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady Penn State year. No, Jeff Lagerman was someone else.
The whole Jet, the whole draft mix, all the Jets were going Sapp. I mean, sometimes, listen to the fans.
Yes, there you go. That's it. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, did we lose Easy? We lost Easy. Okay, sorry about that, Easy. Not sure what's happening there with your Wi-Fi at your house, but that just canceled out. I see a few people asking, by the way, so I want to put it back up here. Here you go. This is the Venmo. Again, if you'd like to support my father's Hop on Pop Wounded Warrior Project 50/50 raffle, the Venmo is at Paul-Esden, PAUL-ESDEN, or on PayPal at HopOnPop22. So again, every single raffle tickets are $1 a piece. So every time you send $5, you get 5 raffle tickets, and it goes on and on and on from there. If you just submit one singular dollar, okay, you have a chance to win 50% of the prize pool, which comes in. The other 50% will go to the Wounded Warrior Project. Hopefully you dive in even deeper into your pockets, but everyone can afford $1. But so any little bit helps. Everyone coming together, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever you guys can do helps. This is a wonderful cause, and this is a cool way to reward someone as well that's in our audience. So it's kind of 50/50. It's by nature exactly what it is that 50% of the proceeds go to the Wounded Warrior Project, 50% goes to the winner of this contest. So yes, my father is running it. You will give updates on a week-to-week basis. This is separate from our normal raffle. So again, if you spend any money here on the channel of memberships, super chats, or anything of that nature, that'll go towards our normal raffle coming this month. Okay, let me switch a few of these easy accounts. I'm seeing like 3 EZs in here, so hopefully I picked the right one. Easy?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
I'm
thank
here.
God. I guessed the right one. Okay,
Okay.
you're back. Sorry
So
about that.
I hit the phone. I must have hit some. The
Oh.
one thing I was going to say is, what is that thing where what think tanks do, where they'll get they'll try to get as much information from the crowd. It's like a
Like a focus
crowdsourcing.
group? Oh, crowdsourcing.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
crowdsourcing. I don't know why more teams don't do that, because they each of the team. I'm talking even Cleveland or Pittsburgh.
Sure.
You know, these teams, they have fans all over the country, and these fans all over the country watch the college games all over the country.
Yeah.
And you know, I believe that sometimes the fans can be part of the scouting team.
Sure. I like that. Let's get the fans involved. Sure.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was going to say. I know I sound weird when I say this stuff, but you know,
No.
and I know I'll probably get some wacky comments like, there goes Easy going crazy again, and blah.
Yep, you're already getting it. Nate is saying, "Oh my God,
Yeah, I know.
What a take!" Yeah, he said that immediately. Yeah.
No, but crowdsourcing is good, not as the final end all be all, but just for some added little input. Like if the crowdsourcing, you know, says something to someone on the Jets squads, you know, the scouting squads, then they may say, hey, this guy lives out there. He's watched a bunch of games. Let's look at some tape. Let's look at some tape. Let's see if he's got something here with this guy. You can find some hidden gems. It doesn't hurt. That's my point. It doesn't
Listen
hurt.
to the people. I like
and
it
then
easy.
This Matt Snell thing, I would love for us to fix that thing with him.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, especially as older guys, you know, sometimes it just guys fall through the cracks. I mean, you know, everyone was talking about how great Jerry Philbin was. There's a lot of guys who are like 40 years old. They don't know who Jerry Philbin is.
Right, I know.
I mean,
Sad.
did you really know who Jerry Philbin was? If it wasn't for your contacts?
Well, yeah, I guess maybe that's it, but no. So I've got the Super Bowl or not Super Bowl 3. It is on that DVD. I have the 50-year history of the New York Jets on DVD, and I've watched it like 100 times. And so you learn about the history of the team, obviously, and Jerry Philbin. Bob Lutter's book talking about Jerry Philbin. So being a historian fan of the team, I was somewhat aware of who Jerry Philbin was, but not to the bare bones of everything that we learned after his passing. So no, but to your point, right? We have different age fans in this group. We have fans of the show that are like 15 years old that love the show, and that's cool. Salute to those guys.
You're
right.
right.
We have people that are in the middle, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. So, but it's varying levels of understanding of the team's history. But there's a lot, like Matt Snell. There's some people that don't even know who Matt Snell even is, let alone that there's a potential beef. So it's crazy.
Yeah. You know, because you know, there's a lot of guys that were able to watch the Jets. Even me, I didn't watch the Jets in 1964 or 1965. I was, you know, a little tyke. You know, I was, you know, still running around playing with toy cars and stuff. And so I don't even know if they had Hot Wheels back then. I think they came out right in the middle of my early youth. You know.
Killia Eagle says I'm 7 years old and I love
play.
This show. Look, we got a 7-year-old watching the show. That's terrific.
That's great because he's going to get to learn about all these great players.
That's right.
I can remember back in the day where the defensive linemen all wore numbers in the 80s, like Carl Eller and all these guys. Nice. You know, everything's changed around. I mean, look, you know, Philbin wore an 80s number. He wasn't a wide receiver. So things have changed over the years. It's really kind of interesting how all these things happened.
For sure.
If you watch now you get all these linebackers wearing single-digit numbers and stuff.
It's very weird.
The NFL opened it up. You know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That all started in college.
Yeah.
But the one last point I wanted to make was I got my car fixed. I put a new training in my car.
Nice.
Yeah, my little Cadillac. I am driving up. So I'm probably going to need a parking pass.
Okay.
Because I'm driving up on October 1st.
Oh no! Wow! Nice. Okay.
And I'm going to visit some friends in Long Island and stuff.
Cool.
And
make a trip out of it.
And last weekend I was in Jersey and I got to see my estranged son and daughter and my grandson for the first time.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I already told my other son and my daughter that I'm coming up on the 1st, and we're going to try to work something out where we go out to lunch or something. So that's really cool.
Well, I will say this for you, Easy, and anyone else. Again, when we get closer, the Jets will not let me forget this. They will 100% tell me, and I will tell the people, all of you guys will have an opportunity to buy a gold parking pass at the cheapest possible price because we're all doing this group ticket buy. So a cool perk from the Jets. So any of you that wants one will be able to get one. You don't have to get one. Again, there's public transportation, all kinds of other things. You can carpool, do other things. But for anyone who wants it, it will be available. And I'll let you guys know when we get a little bit closer to that.
Right. And one last question for you.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How and when are you going to send us the access to the tickets?
Very soon now, because we've sold the last ticket packages. So the last part of the puzzle is just reviewing that we have all the seats that we're supposed to have. And then, because like that would be bad if we don't have the right number and then we're doling them out. We're like, wait, 2 people are left out. But the Jets normally do a very good job. So I'm reviewing the numbers to make sure all of those are correct. And then we're going to start doling them out for people sitting next to each other. So in the next 2 weeks, something like that. So you guys should have them on your phone. So what I will also double check is make sure if any of you bought a ticket package through me, that you have the right email sent to me, because that's the email that's going to get the ticket transfer. So just make sure that you guys have the appropriate email given to me. And I think I asked most of you guys when you made that purchase to make sure this was the correct email, because that's where the ticket transfer is going to go. And I'll also do follow-ups to make sure you guys don't have any problems with that. But that is 60 plus people trying to do it. So
good news. Good news.
Beautiful. Easy. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. And thank you so much for calling into the show. So, yes, can't wait to see Easy. That's going to be amazing. Easy and all you guys. That'll be great. Yes, over the next 2 weeks or so, we'll be transferring the tickets. And again, whatever email you provided is where that ticket transfer will go. I'll try to do follow-ups, to make sure you guys get the tickets in the right place. All right, let's go to one of the great combinations. Some people say it's Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. I say it's Gator and Goose, baby. Here on the show. What's up, Gator?
Hey, buddy. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. So I bet you weren't too enthralled with what you saw last night from Fields of Dreams.
No, I mean, I probably don't have anything fresh to add. I just sometimes like the sound of my own voice.
Hey, that's a good voice. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know. By the way, I talked to your buddy Jim.
Ooh, I was about to ask you about this. Yeah.
Yesterday, had a nice conversation.
Excellent.
Seems to be a fine gentleman.
Oh, nice. All right. I'm glad you think so.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm worried about this offense, and for the most part, and I haven't caught your whole show. I apologize, but maybe this has been talked about already. But I think these defensive coordinators that we're going to face are going to focus on the run, and until we can prove that Justin Fields can sling it with, I don't know, let's say, even the top 20 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Sure.
Why else would they do anything else other than, guard the line and guard the exteriors on the line, and try to get them to throw the ball downfield, because I didn't see very much anything in practice or in these games that would prove to me that Fields can sling it with, like I said, a top 20 quarterback. And that's concerning. I also think that Braylon Allen continues to show how he can run with violence and really just impress the hell out of me. Although, Breece Hall looked a little better, I still worry about, the way he looked so far this year and last year, that he just doesn't seem to be the same guy that we all touted as, the next CMAC or whatever our hopes were for Breece Hall. So
right, and he had some of those same problems, Gator. Like, again, it's a preseason game, so I'm not trying to judge too harshly, and it's only a handful of carries, but he's having a lot of that action where he gets to the line of scrimmage, and he's getting thrown aside by very simple things. People throwing an arm on his leg, like a weak arm tackles, other things that throw him either completely to his feet or the initial contact he can't break through. And again, there's one play last night where he broke through and dragged a few people. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we want to see, but there's only one moment of that. The rest of it was a little concerning. So I feel you there on some of the Breece stuff. I'm like, did the injury just really affect him, and we're not going to see the same guy? And on the Justin Fields thing, he said last night, he had this exchange with the beat reporter who said, wow, you haven't thrown deep. And then Justin Fields sort of cuts him off and says, yeah, I sort of was talking about that on the sideline. I haven't thrown it deep in a while or something. And then they said, so why is that? And he was like, defense are taking away, and I'll always take what they give you. And maybe that's true, but not seeing it in practice. I didn't see it a lot in practice either when I was at the joint practice. We haven't seen it in the games. The thing that I convinced myself, Gator, and you tell me, right, where I'm Captain Optimism, and you say for a lot of the time you label yourself a pessimist. The thing I keep telling myself is, well, they're not showing anything. It's a preseason. They're keeping all the secrets inside. That's what's really happening here. So that's what I keep telling myself. Is that the truth? Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, I'd feel differently if we saw something in practice that would show that he's has that pinpoint accuracy, that he has that ability to just place a ball exactly where. And Martinez, as much praise as he's getting, he wasn't exactly pinpointing these balls either. He had more completions, but the guy doesn't have the accuracy that he needs to be a pro. I found that his receivers, for the most part, were stretching, beyond a reasonable amount to get some of these balls in.
Sure.
They happen to be catching them, but Fields is just not, and forget preseason. You're hearing these beat reporters coming back, and our guys coming back from these games saying, Fields had a couple of good practices, but for the most part, no one's been like overly impressed with his accuracy and his ability to find the open receiver. That's the big thing too. It's like, I'm sure, guys like Dylan Terraman and, some of these other experts that can look at the tape and say, what was he thinking here? Look at all these possibilities that he could have thrown the ball here, thrown the ball there, and he's not doing it. So, if he was a rookie, I would probably be a lot less concerned. But talking about a guy in year 5 that has had a lot of experience between Chicago and Pittsburgh, to prove that he can sling it. And that's always been the criticism of him. He's not going to be the guy that's going to do that. And you can say up and down, it's like, well, the Jets are going to have a different philosophy. We're going to run the ball, we're going to stuff it down your throat. But, defensive coordinators are going to love that because they'll know, where to stop the Jets.
Yeah.
So I'm very concerned about, Fields and in this offense in particular, in terms of how are we going to move the ball, through the air? Are we even going to be able to do it? I hope so. How many games before Garrett Wilson's hoping or wishing that Aaron Rodgers was still a quarterback?
Oh boy,
I joke about that, but it's like, Fields was impressive in college. I don't know where that guy went. In terms of his ability to, to throw the ball around, but he hasn't yet figured it out. Like I said, we don't need him to be a top 10 quarterback through the air, but kind of need him to be a top 20.
That's true. Hey, by the way, Gator, there's a super chat coming in that I'd like your thoughts on. Here we go. Wow. Lou B, Super Jets fan, sending in a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He said he was at the game last night. I'm not very happy about it, but how many teams that we play are going to have a defensive line like the Giants? Does that at all give you any sort of encouragement that, like, man, I saw it when I was at the Giant joint practice. I'm like, geez, Lou, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence. Like, Jesus, this group is incredibly impressive. Does that make you feel a little bit better when you consider the result?
Again, only if we had seen a side of Fields, at practice, however many days a week that had shown us that, wow, this guy's really got some, when he needs to, he's able to sling it with the rest of them. And like I said, until he can prove that, I don't necessarily care what happened last night. I care about the cumulative, balls that he's throwing. Where are the ones where he's threading the needle?
Yeah.
And where he's getting the ball, more than 10 yards down the field,
which we have not seen consistently. So that's fair.
Yeah, that's my fear,
All right.
But again, it's early. It's certainly early. It's hard to get too excited, and just the same if they'd have beaten the Giants 31 to whatever,
right?
It wouldn't have mattered too much. It's just what do we see? What are we witnessing on the field? And we have trouble quarterback. I think I thought that, since we got Fields, but I like Fields. I just because kind of need that,
You sure do, Gator.
I don't know anything.
No, that's all right. I love it, Gator. Thanks for the call, brother.
Cheers, pal.
All right, there he is. Gator calling into the show. Appreciate it. We got 500 people down in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. All right, looks like we got another caller here. Right Hero here on the show. What's up, pal?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Anthony, is that your name? Is that what it says down there?
Yeah, that's just my but you can say right here or either or.
Okay, Right Hero. Okay, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Yeah, so first off, I just want to say I was impressed one thing about the offensive line because last year we could not run the ball at all.
No.
It felt like we would get 2 yards and then -2. So I was very impressed, especially with that defensive line. We were able to run against that team. Obviously, with Justin Fields, we wanted to see better passing input. But my opinion, I think Justin Fields didn't get a fair shake because I think that pass to Garrett Wilson was a good pass. It's just that the defensive back made a better play.
Fair enough.
And I think the team was dictating their offense. Like I think the Giants just had a huge vulnerability with their run defense. So we just took advantage of it. We ran down the field. We got close to like 60 yards on rushing. I never seen us do that before.
Sure.
My last take is that I think we have to have a consideration on who the wide receiver 2 is going to be because this kid named Skinner is. I was looking. I know he was playing against fourth rounders and not, but he was doing amazing. So same thing with Adrian Smith. But one thing about Adrian Smith is I know he was getting a lot of pass interferences, but he has to make a lot of these plays. I've seen multiple drop passes from him. And I'm not saying that he's bad. I think like he was getting open a lot. But we know how Aaron Glenn is. Aaron Glenn's going to be like, he's only going to give you opportunities if you're making plays. He can't talk about accountability and all of a sudden, just because Adrian Smith is getting open, he looks the better at wide receiver 2. No, I don't think so. So, and obviously they're looking at blocking because I think they're going to look for more of a bigger wide receiver. So I think Skinner has to get more shots at the first, as with the starters. But overall, I think the Jets, I don't know why people are getting mad at the Jets. I think a lot of their stars didn't play. I think the Jets played good today. I think it's just preseason. So I think overall, one thing I'm very happy is if we can run like this, the passing is going to open up. Justin Fields only passed for like 5 times. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
That's right. Correct. 1 for 5. That's it.
You can't make a judgment if he only threw the ball 5 times and we still were able to get close to the red zone. So I think overall we have to look at the positives. There are some negatives. Yeah, we don't know how Justin Fields will pass the ball. I'm not going to say it. We don't know. But we can't be definitive and say Justin Fields is just going to pass horrible. I disagree with that. So I'm very impressed with the offensive line. Man, with this defense, man, I was happy. This offensive line looks amazing, man. So that's all I'm going to say.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call right here. And hopefully you call it again. Some great takes there. Let's go through a couple of the things that you said. Let's start off with the running game. And I think that is well placed here. And I'll highlight it here on our screen. The Jets are rushing totals from this preseason game. Maybe the Jets just took, to Right Hero's point, what the defense gave them. And the defense said, hey, run it down our throats. And the Jets are like, all right, we'll do that. And that could have been it. So I like that take from Right Hero here. Here you go. I'll throw this up on the screen. This is the Jets rushing numbers from last night. They had 141 yards rushing, 33 attempts, 4.3 clip. Not bad at all. Now, it's sort of a balanced approach. It's not like one guy dominated. Donovan Edwards had 21 yards. Braylon Edwards had 34. Breece Hall had 26. Kanae Nguanu had 31. Lawrence Toafili had 24. And then Fields had the 5. But you know what? Hey, being able to run the ball, I will tell you this, there is an identity. If you go through those first 2 drives, I'm pretty sure I remember the numbers off the top of my head. There was 5 passing attempts and 13 rushing attempts. The Jets want to run the football. That is their identity. And we could say this, that, or the other, but ground and pound was their last glory days for the New York Jets. So, hey, running the football is totally fine with me. And here's the other thing that's fine with me is having an identity. This Jets team has had an identity crisis the last 10 years. Are they a running team? Are they a passing team? Are they a physical team? Are they this team? Are they this team? It felt like the Jets were asking themselves that question on a week-to-week basis. This time, it seems like they know who they are, and I think that is such an important piece of the puzzle. Now, you guys can debate whether or not you like who they are, but they are who they are. And that's what I like about it. So I thought the running attack was pretty good yesterday. Overall, the commitment to the bit and some of these, varying guys that are sort of in the rotation, I thought that was very intriguing. Very intriguing. And it is true, right? Justin Fields, right? Threw 5 passes. Whether he was 5 for 5, 1 for 5, A to Z, up and down, whatever, we have to take that into context too. So I think that's another part of the equation there that I think has to be in there. But yes, as other people are saying, great call, first-time caller, excellent. Hopefully you call back in the future, right, Hero? That was a great call. And I would just say that real quick as the phone lines are open here on the show. They're open on my show, Boy Green Daily, or I guess not Boy Green meets Woody. So Boy Green Daily, any Jet show and any post-game show, the phone lines are open. On Boy Green Daily, it's in the second half of the show, after the first 30 minutes. On the post-game show, that's seconds after the final whistle, the phone lines are open immediately. I'd love to hear from more people. Whether you're a first-time caller or a multi-time caller, I hope you guys take full advantage of the phone lines. This is a community for the people, by the people. I love getting new people on the show. I love having older people on the show that have been in as well. So let's continue to mix it up, baby. We're reacting to the Jets-Giants game. It was ugly. 31-12 beatdown of the Jets getting their ass handed to them, as Aaron Glenn put it, against the New York Giants. The good news is it's preseason. Sure, we're 1-1 in the preseason, but what does that even matter? We talked about Robert Saleh being 11-1 or whatever the hell he was during the preseason. Hey, let's win games when it matters. Let's come out healthy. Again, for the most part, outside of this Will McDonald knee thing, that scares me a little bit, but hopefully he's okay. But besides that, it sounds like a lot of the injuries are in check. Woo! Thank God. Look around the league. People are dealing with all kinds of crap. So I will continue to say my prayers and hold hands to the football gods to make sure the Jets don't keep getting the business here from an injury perspective. We have nearly 500 people in the room. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. Of these 500 people, 121 of them are currently watching on YouTube. Okay? Those are the numbers. But as I look at the numbers here on YouTube, only 60 people have liked the show. So there's another 60 people that are watching the show right now that have not liked the video. Please like the video. It is free to do. This is how the show gets in front of other Jets fans that have never heard of Boy Green Daily. They're like, what the hell is this show? When you guys like the video, YouTube goes, oh, people like the show. Let's get it to other Jet fans. So please, if you can, I'd highly request that you like the video. That is a free way to contribute to the program. Let's go back to the phone lines. I said we just went from a first-time caller to someone that has a few Chase Blue points on his card. That is Indy Jets. What's up, Indy?
That's a wonderful way to put that.
Yeah, beautiful. Great, thank you.
I don't know if you talked about this. I'm just getting tuned in here, so I wanted to ask. What do you think about the game plan that Tanner Engstrom used with Fields, and then changed it with the Brady, Cook, and Adrian Martinez? They got some opportunities to throw the ball down the field. I don't believe Fields threw for none of his passes were for over 15, 20 yards, were they?
Not at all. None were even attempted that far. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he had no attempts of any deep balls.
Uh-huh.
And when Russell Wilson threw that one deep ball, why didn't that trigger that to go, hey, you know what? If they can try it, why don't we? I mean, is this an immature thing on Tanner's part? A learning curve that Fields is experiencing because Tanner's new.
That could be too. Obviously, we have to factor that in. Tanner Engstrom has never called plays at the NFL level. And again, I say this statement out loud, and people can either take it or not. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying what happened. After the Jets-Giant joint practice, in a VIP area, fans were joking with Arian Smith, saying, oh, man, we want to see an 80-yard bomb for a touchdown next time. And he stopped, looked at him, and said, we don't run that in practice. Again, implying that we're saving that for the regular season. So in the same way, is Tanner Engstrom sort of saving some of the stuff for the regular season? God, I hope so. But I think it could be the immaturity, greenness of Tanner Engstrom in this role. Justin Fields and him are newly married. They're still in the honeymoon phase here. They haven't worked together for a long time. It's only been a couple of months. Yeah, I think all of those factors could certainly be in play.
Yeah, and then the other concerning factor is Garrett and Fields, 0 for 4.
Ugh, I don't love
0
that.
for 4.
Don't
I
love
mean,
that.
how does the number one wide receiver not catch a single ball? I mean, why play him?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you go back to Faria's, comment of, well,
Yeah,
the
right.
injury part of it. Well, if
Yeah.
he's not going to do anything,
Why play? Right.
then why play him? So I don't know. I would have rather seen some more attempts at, at making some kind of connection between him and Garrett. And maybe they did, and they do it at practice. You can't tell me that when they get to a game, we just go away from that. One game he had one attempt, that okay, Fields only threw it 4 times. And this time, that he gets 3 attempts and couldn't connect to a single one. The coverage was pretty good on the one. I'm not
Sure.
gonna. That was even probably borderline interference.
Yeah, well, you could make an argument. Yeah.
Yeah, but at some point they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to connect. Are they playing next week?
That's a great question. Are they going to play next week? AG was not asked that question directly in the post-game presser, so there's obviously going to be several pressers before that point, so we'll see. My gut would say no. I know we don't know AG, so he can zig while others zag. The rest of the league, I don't know if one team plays their starters or has in several years in that final preseason game, which is now only 3 weeks long now. I don't think so. So I don't believe so, which means this is going to be sort of our last taste here. Now, I would just say real quick on the Garrett thing is that they gave him, what was that, 2 or 1? It was 1. The manufacture touches, like where snap the ball, immediately throw it over to Garrett. Let's say this. I know outside of Neil bringing up Aaron Rodgers yesterday, which he loves to do, is that, and there was a lot of things he brought up on the show yesterday, but if we go to the Jets-Giants game, because that's just a game that comes to mind and that was it, the preseason game, Aaron Rodgers, the first play of that game was a stretch run to the right, and he went, is that dude 7 yards off of Garrett? Yeah, Bluebird, hike the ball and immediately throw it out to him. Garrett Wilson for 6 yards. I'm like, God, if we can just do that all the time, every time he's just open and they're playing off coverage and just throw it right over, let's just feed him touches like that. So I do hope we haven't seen that at all outside of the screen pass they attempted to throw, but the timing was all off. A lot of stuff seemed messed up. I don't know who is to blame on that one, whether Snap, Fields, Garrett, who all messed up. Maybe it was all of the above ended up messing up on that one. But those manufactured touches, that's what I'd love to see, because everyone keeps talking about this, Indy. Oh boy, Garrett, if I'm an opposing defensive corner, I'm double teaming him every bleeping play. And that's probably true, but that doesn't mean you can't get him the ball. That play where they hiked the ball and threw it to him in a trip bunch set where he steps back, 2 receivers stock block up, he's right there. They can't block that. That gives him a chance to have the ball in his hands. So let's see what he does with it after. You can manufacture touch for Garrett. You can't just say, oh, well, he's doubled, I guess we're never going to throw it to Garrett. That doesn't make any sense. You're not paying him all that money for that. Like, come on now.
Yeah, and so why are we not? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's got to be a Tanner problem more than a Fields problem. We're putting this all on Fields, and we know what he's good at and what he's not good at. And so I don't know. Maybe it is a thing of we're going to take all this game plan for the next 2 preseason games, the first 2 preseason games, and put in the playbook everything you're not good at.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're not going to scheme, because if this is the game plan that we see in the regular season for Justin Fields, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a Justin Fields problem. This is an offensive coordinator problem. If you're going to do everything the opposite of what that quarterback's good at, we're in trouble. I'm just going to say it. We're going to be relying on the defense to score and special teams to score and be lucky. And Tanner won't make it 1 year. You just don't, they got to play to call these plays to the strengths of the players. You wouldn't put a Peyton Manning in a Lamar Jackson style run offense. It just wouldn't work. Right. And so if you don't play to the strengths, that's more of coaching. And that's I hope that's not it. We'll find out. We'll find out in Pittsburgh. I think if the game plan is so vanilla against Pittsburgh, we're going to be in for a long season.
Very much so. Indy, fair enough. Thank you so much for the call and appreciate the thoughts. Again, let's just hope. Oh, yeah, there you go. Fox Sports Talk says, think of the bright side, Nick Folk. Yeah, 2 for 2, baby. We got the kicker. That's an important step. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. You got man with a jet tattoo. He's back, baby. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Boy Green?
Hey, not too shabby.
Listen, defense. No McDonald. No Quentin. No JJ.
And no Sauce.
And Sauce. That should answer everybody's question right there. Don't worry about the defense. Number two. The offense. The offense. People are panicking. They're panicking over a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Guys, if you've been watching the Jets, you've seen them win them all. They win the preseason. They come out in the first game and they suck. It happens. It happens over and over and over again. Now, if the Jets come out and play a game like this against Pittsburgh, then you can start to worry.
Sure.
But right now, come on, we're just working ourselves up for nothing.
That's probably true.
Really, I mean, we're getting a little crazy here. We have started the season weeks ago. Jet fans, we're expecting everything to click. And I don't think Glenn is showing everything. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that's happening. Like you said with Arian Smith, we don't do that in practice.
Yeah,
but. Everybody take a breath, man. Sit back. You got 2 weeks. Let's see how they come out in the first game. This is going to be a process. It's going to take a little bit of time. And maybe Justin Fields isn't the answer, And I was an Adrian Martinez guy, and he disappointed me last night.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to panic about that either. You just can't panic at this point right now. So everybody take a breath. It's Sunday. Go to church, say a prayer. That's it. Say a prayer, and let's wait for 2 weeks. Go out and enjoy yourself for 2 weeks. Take everything with a grain of salt, and we'll see what happens.
Amen. Well,
people are jumping off buildings already right now. They're jumping off buildings. They're hanging themselves. They're taking handfuls of pills. Calm down.
There you go. That's great advice, man, with the jet tattoo. Wow. A lot of people are doing a lot of crazy things. I'll tell you this, people. We appreciate it. Thank you to the 500 people that are live here on a August 17th Sunday morning at 9:15 in the morning. We appreciate you. The support has been incredible. And again, make sure you guys like the video. Also, hit subscribe. Let me see our current number here. Let me take a quick peek before we end the show here. Our current subscriber number is at 7,894. We're 106 subscribers away from 8,000 people. So tell your mama, tell your friends, tell everybody about Boy Green Daily and the Boy Green YouTube channel where we talk New York Jets every day, at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. Yesterday, we did the pregame show, we did the postgame show, we got the morning show today, and all these other shows. So we're live at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. So I hope you guys can enjoy it with fun guests and all kinds of things, and hopefully some more big surprises coming. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And when we reach 8,000 subscribers, one of those 8,000 will receive an autographed Mike White photo. And I'll also be doing some other giveaways as we reach other milestones and our chase to 10,000 subscribers, which is my ultimate goal for now. And then once we reach that, I'm sure I'll have new goals. But that is what it is. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you. I think I answered all your super chat questions and comments as well. Again, continue to push the Matt Snell story forward if you can. Lou B, by the way, your $5 went towards your raffle ticket total. So appreciate that super chat coming in. And we'll be back on tomorrow. Our Jets reporter, Nick Faria, will join us at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to it. Again, another big salute to our NFL insider, Matt Lombardo. It's going to be awesome to have him on each week. He'll continue to give us these winners, losers. Then once we get into the season, he'll give us the NFL insider chair perspective on, the game days, which are going to be awesome because the majority of the Jets games will be on Sundays this year. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. A lot of fun. And thank you guys for all the calls and the support. You guys are the best. Take care now. Appreciate it.